Welcome back, y'all. Fat Man Weiss here. Back again for a long-awaited continuation of the Outer Worlds Supernova playthrough. So, last episode, I don't fucking remember what I was doing, because it's been too long since I played it. But this episode, we're going to figure that out. I don't want you...
Something you need?
Yeah, I don't want you here.
You mean about the mission being too clean? I know, but Vicker says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches, and worn bits. You can tell they've seen handling, been used by folk. The machine Vicker sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf, under glass.
I reckon nobody want to live in a gunked up universe.
I reckon we already do, and we ain't got no choice in the matter. So maybe somebody ought to take a rag to it.
Yeah. Let's...
Something you need?
God damn it, I can't send you back. Alright, well, we're just gonna have to continue on with this.
Heads down.
Alright, let me put my gun away, because, you know, no violence. So, for the record, moving forward, I'm gonna be quiet for all forms of dialogue. Because, well, I want to focus on the dialogue, and I want you guys to enjoy it with me, because the writing and dialogue in this game is honestly pretty genius. It's great, solid writing. I thoroughly enjoy it. So we're going to enjoy it together. But, hi. How are y'all doing? It has been a hell of a while, and by hell of a while, I mean about a week. It's good to be back. It's good to be playing Outer Worlds again. And, yeah. So, for those that weren't able to watch my update video, which is fine, I've been on hiatus for a little bit. I think I already discovered this place. But I've been on hiatus for a bit, and... well, tonight I officially finished all my fucking work for the week. So I'm celebrating by playing some Outer Worlds. Probably not what most people would do to celebrate, but fuck it. I haven't been able to just sit down and enjoy a video game in, well, about a week. So, damn it, I'm going to sit down and enjoy a fucking video game for a bit. And I figured, well, might as well make some progress on the Outer Worlds. You know, while I get a moment, especially since, you know, come Tuesday, so 2 days from now, it's going to be right back to square one as far as workload goes. So I only have 3 more weeks left of classes. Well, 4 technically, but that 4th and final week is relegated to final exams, which I only have 2 of. So I essentially have 3 weeks of work. And then once I'm done with that, as all she wrote as far as this semester goes. So I won't have to go back to work or school until January. So I'll get to be off for a whole month and a half. And I'll get to get all caught back up on all my recordings and stuff. I'm excited. So, because I'm hoping over winter break, I'll be able to for sure finish Crystal and Outer Worlds. You know, like I also said in the update video, I'm going to be focusing on Outer Worlds for a good bit, just because Outer Worlds is quick and easy to make. Does not take much effort, and it's not long at all. So, I mean, it's long, but it doesn't take much effort to record it and then upload it. So, it's not a long, drawn-out process. I'm not going to be reading any of like these, just because while they have information, I personally have no, it's never anything, I won't say it's never, it's never anything that really interests me. You know, it's a lot of lore building and stuff like that, which is fine. This game does have a lot of good, rich lore. But I more so just enjoy the character interactions. I might miss some stuff, and if I do, I apologize. I will say all logs I find, I will open up, and I'll leave them open for a couple seconds. So if you guys really want to, pause and read, please go right ahead. I'm also kind of a fastish slow reader. I don't know. I've noticed through my years that I read faster than some. I read faster than most, but slower than some. So I don't want to run into the whole thing of, oh, you read too fast, or God, get the fuck off the screen, you slow ass bitch. So I'll just say it. I'll leave it up to you guys if y'all want to read it. Most of these I've also already read in my own time. And you could also, I was like, well, Fat Man, you focus so heavily on the dialogue. Why don't you do the same thing there? And it's like, well, it's not the same. The dialogue's got the personality to it. It's got the voiceover, the voice work, and a lot of the dialogue's just fucking hilarious. Like, there is one particular dialogue interaction once we get to the next area of this game known as the Groundbreaker with Pravarti, Vicar Max, and your character. If you do the dumb dialogue option, that's one of my favorite character interactions in the game. So, but let's get over to this botanical research lab, and let's meet some people. Oh, looting.
Move along, stranger.
Move along, stranger. Hello.
I don't know you.
That's fine.
Whatever
I'm a nice
you're
guy.
Looking for it ain't here. Move along.
What's your problem?
Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those.
Well, don't you have a collection?
A geo what? Look, plants ain't my purview. You're better off asking after Adelaide. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you. Yeah, that's us. And you can tell Thompson we're doing just fine by ourselves. Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind.
Trouble with Marauders?
You don't know what enough with the questions means? No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if Marauders got to her.
Well, see, here's the problem. Marauders did get to her, and I don't think I can get her back. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to complete almost every mission I can. This one I don't know if I'll be able to.
It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she might be out scavenging, but that ain't exactly her talent. Can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She could be anywhere.
Vale's not all that big. I can explore it in a couple minutes. Unless Marauders got to her, then parts of her could be in a lot of places. That's fucked up. I'm not going to do that. I'm a nice guy.
Appreciate it. Honest.
Alright. I know where Adelaide is. I'm sorry, that was aggressive of me. I know where Adelaide is, and I know where Zoe is, so I'm just gonna loot your houses. Hope y'all don't mind too much. Especially since I need food. Food is hard to come by. This guy.
You hungry? We got canid ribs, canid flank, canid snout too.
I do believe I need to talk
Something
to this
I can
guy.
help you with?
I'm told one of your numbers gone
You
missing.
mean Zoe? Yeah, we were pretty close. Not like her to go loping off.
What happened to Zoe? Tell me a little about Zoe. Alright, tell me a little about Zoe.
Zoe was always obsessed with this cereal. Masked Marketeer. A scion of Byzantium turns to banditry and teaches his marauder companions the wisdom of free market economics. Shame she up and vanished when she did. I had a surprise lined up for her. You sound like some type of corporate fixer asking all these questions.
I will also go ahead and say during the moments that I'm quiet, if you hear a bunch of rabid animals in the background, those are just my puppies. They've been, I won't say they've been cooped up all day, but for the most part, we like to keep them separated from one another throughout most of the day, just to prevent them from, developing what a lot of people refer to as littermate syndrome, because they are siblings. So we keep them separated from each other, which, it's not like they're in the cage all day. They're in the kennel, even though their kennels are we got them very large kennels, so they could have as much space as possible. But we're letting them have a little bit of playtime with themselves tonight, and of course, when puppies get together, they play and they snarl and stuff. So if you hear that, it's not an illegal dog fighting ring, I promise. They're just having fun.
The other day, I got my hands on a genuine copy of the latest Masked Marketeer. I was going to surprise Zoe with it, but she was gone the next day.
Alright, so that's what we needed from him.
Hey, I got time.
Because that allows us to, when we find Zoe, if we can actually get to her, we can talk to her about him in that cereal, and she'll be like, what the hell, okay.
Fresh off the limb, and that includes canid meat.
Alright. I'm going to sell you all sorts of good stuff, buddy. Alright. Don't need any of this. Don't have any of that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Can eat that. Can drink that. Can eat that. Drink. Drank. Food. Food. Don't need alcohol. Drink that. Drink that. Alright, cool. And then you can take those. And take that. Alright. Do you actually have anything worthwhile here? Yeah, not really. That's okay. Ooh, I do, if I'm remembering correctly, there is something I can hit up in this area. So there's a quest right here.
Thomas. He used to fall.
Oh, didn't see you there. I was just occupying myself with a little engineering. Whoa, Miss Parvati. Hey, you're, how are you? Hi. Hello.
Are you, are things safe out here? How are you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Oh gosh, no, I'm just along with this fella here.
Are you from town? I mean, you don't exactly look like you're from town.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Well, what I meant was you're reasonably well armed and don't look stricken with plague.
I literally have a pistol with 8 bullets. I don't know if I
just
consider that
wasn't
well
sure
armed.
if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been chewing at me, you see. Fact is, I've been, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair.
Never too late to start learning.
I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make something of myself. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering?
I have.
Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
I already snagged one
Those
for
are
you.
good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in the cannery.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged.
Today's your lucky day, Thomas.
No kidding. Really? Well, which one?
Part 2, found it in the cannery.
Ain't that just ironical? If I'd worked a little longer back at the cannery, I might have found this myself. I appreciate you going through all that trouble.
Of course,
fact,
buddy.
I put aside something special, on the off chance that somebody'd search out those data pads for me.
Alright. So we got that. The other 2 data pads, there's one in the... I don't know what's over here. But there's one in the... the community center, which they talked about, which is swarming with marauders. So that's going to be fun. And then the other one is in the... God, why am I drawing a blank. The robotics power plant. Fuck. All right, Adelaide.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear?
Yeah, what's that smell?
That'd be the garden, dear. You're standing in a garden. Also fertilizer, so mind your boots.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned.
Fucking better have. Reed sent me to make peace with you. Is this your greenhouse? Looks like you made yourself home. Reed sent me to make peace.
Reed Thompson? You here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then?
Reed asked you to consider coming back to town.
Make amends. Spare me. Only thing Reed knows how to make is a mess. Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves. He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans?
I need a power regulator.
Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do.
I'll consider it.
I trust you will listen to your conscience.
Alright, so... Spoilers, not spoilers, whatever. I'm going to explain my reasoning moving forward. So, also, there is... Ain't a secret, but over here... In this little place... Some loot... And then a fuck ton of apples. Give us some good food for a while. But, so you got two options, or at least you're presented with two options. We need to divert the power somewhere. And we either divert it to these guys, the deserters, or we do it to Edgewater. Now, here's the reason, and this is the only time I'll really give some heavy spoilers, because this is the only real one I know about all the different routes you can kind of sort of take. But this is why I love this game. So, like I said, you're presented with two options. Give the power to Reed or give the power to Adelaide. Now, after speaking with both and looking at the conditions, you are going to be, well, obviously attracted to the idea of giving it to Adelaide. You know, that seems like the right and noble decision. And you would be right. So, kinda. So, if you divert the power to Reed, what will happen is, obviously you shut off the power to here. And then from there you're given two options. Either just let it be, you know, let all these people die, or convince all the deserters to return back to town. And that's like the true what you're supposed to do. Give it to Edgewater, get them to return back to town. But the only problem with that is Adelaide refuses to return. You know, and then obviously, you know, from that point, you're dooming everyone in Edgewater to continued servitude under Spacer's Choice and Reed Thompson. But, you know, the caveat is you get a really nice Spacer's Choice discount from then on out. You get a 20% discount on top of your reputation discount. And Reed essentially has kind of a come to Jesus meeting. It's where he's like, you know, I have been unnecessarily hard on all of my constituents, and this is why we got in this whole deserter ordeal in the first place. So he really does go through a whole character arc, if you will. You know, it's still Spacer's choice. It's still fucked up. But the living conditions of everyone in Edgewater starts getting a lot better. But once again, you wouldn't know that unless you sided with Reed and, you know, beat the game when it's looking back on all your choices and telling you how they all played out. But once again, you know, you're still like, well, Adelaide's the right choice, obviously, you know. She knows how to grow plants, you know, she's just such a sweet and loving person, you know, and she's free of Spacer's choice. But what you end up finding out, and you can find this out before you actually side with them, but the reason Adelaide and Adelaide alone is one of the only people, because this hasn't really been discussed yet, but the reason the botanical lab is so amazing, at least by the game standards, is because this soil, this earth is, well, unruly. You can't grow plants out here, at least not agriculturally. You know, obviously there's plants growing, but it's really hard to grow and maintain, you know, like food plants and stuff like that. Well, Adelaide found a way to do that. And you'll later find out that the way she does that is dead bodies. She, you know, bone meal. She grinds up the bones and the flesh and all the gooey bits, and she uses that in her fertilizer, and that's what allows her to grow her stuff. And it's like, well, you know, you ask her, and she's like, well, I'm mostly using, you know, like dead marauders and, you know, other than that. But you ask her, and you're like, well, what happens once you run out of marauders? You know, she's like, well, you know, Edgewater has that cemetery. A pretty large cemetery. It's like, well, we're going to start digging up bodies. Because really, she only needs the bones, you know, for bone meal. And it's like, that's a little dark. But comparative to, you know, a lifetime enslavement, essentially, to Spacer's choice, it's like, that's still the better option, right? Well, when you side with Adelaide and then you beat the game and it's going over, you know, like what happened, what Adelaide ends up doing is she only, you know, she says she'll invite everyone but Spacer's choice personnel into the botanical lab to live out here and thrive with them. However, what she ends up doing is she only ends up actually accepting in like a small handful of people. And she lets a grand majority of Edgewater die, you know, to marauders, canids, and starvation. So that way she can then use their bodies as well to further treat it. You know, so it's like, once you know the endings of both, it's like, which one is really the better choice, you know? It's like Spacer's choice is still fucked up, but at least everyone doesn't die, you know? But, and this is seriously why I love this game, there is a hidden third option. And that's what we're going to be going through with here. Because it's, in my opinion, the best option. And that is, we're going to have to, at the geothermal plant, reroute power to Edgewater. Then convince everyone to return. And then talk to Adelaide, and there will be a special dialogue with her that if you go through it properly, which I've tried to do this in another playthrough, and I did fuck it up, so we'll have to see. But you can essentially make her agree to come back to Edgewater if you make Reed Thompson step down. And there's two ways to do it. You either kill him, or you talk him down. And obviously we can't kill him because we don't kill people. But you can talk him down. But in order to talk him down, you need to go through some certain dialogue situations with Adelaide when it comes to that point. Because you essentially have to point out, you know, Reed, you're the whole reason these deserters left in the first place. Tsuchinoko? Excuse me? I have never fucking seen you before. And I've played this game. I love this game. There's so much shit in this game that I just never fucking see. But you can essentially say, Reed, buddy, step down, man. You kind of suck ass at your job. You're the reason this town is failing. You know, you're the reason this whole thing happened. You know, but if you step down, let Adelaide step in, you'll be doing what's right for, you know, this community that you say you loved. She can grow plants, and with the ability to grow plants and herbs, she can make medicine to cure the sick. She's already cured all the sick in her estate, you know. You essentially just, by demeaning him, convince him to go, yeah, I do kind of fucking suck. Ah, well, I've been working for a long time. I guess I'll just go retire. And I mean, you kind of feel like a dick about it because he sounds genuinely sad. But he'll end up stepping down. Everyone from the Botanical Lab will go over to Edgewater, and that's that. So, I know, huge spoilers. If this upsets you, I'm very sorry. Like, seriously, I'm sorry. But, I wanted to explain that because I was either going to have to explain it now or explain it later. So, in my opinion, just go ahead and get it over with. But I have been babbling on for too long. I've been running around not accomplishing anything. I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here. When I get back, we're going to try to get into that community center. I don't know if we're going to be able to because there's a lot of boys out here. Pavardi's still here, which that's another thing, actually. I might try to, because I can't get Pavardi away from me until I do this whole thing with the geothermal. So I might actually do this first. Shit. Well, I just pissed off that combat drone. I didn't hit it, so yay. I'm still pacifist. Still a pacifist. But, yeah. Because going through that community center with Pavardi is gonna maybe be a bitch. I don't know. This is still Supernova, which is something I have to keep in mind. Because if I die, it sends me all the way back to the last save. Which the last save is... I can only save in the unreliable. Which that's actually something I've been thinking about. If I die, I have to essentially go back a good amount of distance. Unless I'm constantly going back to the ship. I mean, what I'm going to end up doing is go back to the ship in between each episode to save real quick. Replenish my sleep and food and water and shit. So that way y'all don't have to watch it every time. But if I were to ever die, essentially what I would do is I would just pause. And, well, that'll be that. Wait, why can't I? Can only there's my ship. But, yep. Anyway, thank you guys. It's good to be back. I hope y'all enjoyed. Once again, like I always say, have a good night or morning or afternoon or nap. Take a nice nap. I love me a good nap. So yeah, take a nap and have a good nap. Bye-bye.